is Courtney Squires of Squires Studio, an aspiring urban farmer, market gardener, and homesteader. I don't know if I said that in the same order as I did last time, but let's proceed. So if you caught my last video, I'm trying to do, at least for now, I'm trying to do a weekly vlog of chronicling my process of turning my backyard into a micro market garden or micro farm. I'm doing vegetables and fruit and cut flowers. And so I'm wanting to take you day by day what each of my days entails as a stay-at-home mother of four trying to make this work. So today I am going to plant these snow peas. I'm in this seed of the month club type thing. It's just a subscription box, and every month they send me like 2 surprise seed packets, and this month they sent me these snow peas and some yard long beans. And I like it just because sometimes they send me things that I would have never purchased myself, but it just gives me an opportunity to try something new. So I'm going to try planting these snow peas, and then what I want to do is harvest them for their shoots and then take the shoots to the farmer's market. So there's 16 peas in here, so I'll have 16 plants. I think that's good for me to start out with since I'm super small scale. So I'm gonna plant these now. It's about 11 o'clock. It's about 11:30 in the morning. So it's not too warm out. It's probably like low 60s or high 50s. I'm not sure. It feels more like low 60s. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these in the ground. I'm gonna plant these 1 inch deep and 4 inches apart. And I'm gonna put them in my raised bed where I transplanted the Swiss chard, the mustard, and then yesterday I actually put some collard greens in here. So a lot of cooler season crops in this bed, a lot of nitrogen feeders. So I think I'm hoping that grouping them together is going to work, because then that'll help me like fertilize them all at once. I use the pool water from the duck's pool. I believe it's like a 2-2-2 as far as NPK is concerned with fertilizing, and then I also use a fish emulsion as fertilizer. And if things look like they're struggling, I'll probably add a little bit of blood meal, but I'm probably gonna hold that off until a last resort. So I think peas are a nitrogen fixer. I'm pretty sure that they are, but then I saw a video today that said they feed heavily on nitrogen. I'm not sure if they're feeding from the nitrogen from the soil or if they're pulling it from the air. Either way, this is what we're gonna do right now. So I'll do a time lapse so you can see me putting these in the raised bed. Okay, so super simple. This is how I sowed them. There were 16 seeds and I only did 14 holes, so in a couple of them I did put 2 of the pea seeds, and I think that's okay. I watched a video with Charles Dowding, and he multi-sows his peas, so he puts about 3 per hole. So I think this will be just fine doing it this way. And like I said, these are 4 inches apart and about 1 inch deep. I'm just gonna gently cover them, and then I'll probably put like a little, I probably won't put a marker on here, but I'm just gonna water them in with the hose, and that'll be it for now. And then I'll be back out here again later on this afternoon once I get my twins down for a nap. Hey, I'm back. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon now. I just finished cleaning our duck's pool. It's right back there. So I just empty that out by hand. I just use these cat litter buckets and scoop and scoop and scoop until it's empty, and then I use that water to water the garden, and I also use it to water the compost. And we have a few trees on this side of the yard, and I'm starting to use it to water the trees now that spring is right on the horizon. So I just finished that. It took me about an hour, and that's with having started to scoop a few buckets out last night. So it is a little bit time consuming, but I don't want the water to go to waste and just pour it out somewhere when it could be utilized for the plants. So Hershey's already enjoying it. I have the hose filling it up, and then in about 3 days I'll do it again. So I try to clean it out every 3 days, or at least once a week. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is here, this tree that I mulched. I believe this is a eucalyptus tree, I'm not sure. But right here, the ground in front of it is just hard, compacted clay soil. What I'm gonna do is kind of break it up with a hoe and then put a little bit of this raised bed and potting soil down here, and then I'm just gonna scatter some buckwheat, and I'm gonna grow buckwheat there. I actually want to use the buckwheat for cut flowers as a filler, and then I also want to use the buckwheat to feed my ducks. I think they might enjoy it, so we'll see if they do or not. They pretty much eat almost anything. Oddly enough, they don't like watermelon, even though most ducks do. But anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do now, is break up that patch of ground. I'm gonna turn the hose off first, and then I'm gonna break up that patch of ground, put down the soil, and then scatter the buckwheat seeds and water them in. Okay, so I broke up this soil in front of the tree and put down the raised bed soil. And then these are my buckwheat seeds. Somebody actually sent these to me through a Facebook group seed swap, so I'm just going to probably just scatter one packet down here, and then I want to do one in my front garden beds, and then I just want to save one for like insurance. So I'm gonna go ahead and scatter these and then put a really light layer of soil on top and then water them in. Okay, buckwheat seeds, I need you to grow big and strong. Okay, so that's done. I sprinkled the seeds, put a light layer of soil over the top, watered them in, and just covered them with this sheet. Simply because sometimes we get a lot of pigeon pressure. They like to eat baby crops and sometimes dig seeds out of the ground, as well as little field mice. So that's the only reason that's there, and then as soon as they germinate, I'll uncover them. So that's that, and I'll show you the next thing I'm going to work on. Okay, so these are some sunflowers seeds that I sowed February 23rd. These are called Double Dandy, and these are chocolate cherry. Both of these are ready to actually be put in the ground. I just don't have anywhere to put them, but I'm about to make a space. So I ended up sowing way more of these Double Dandy than I originally, well, this is how many I intended to sow because I thought they were single stem. They are actually branching sunflowers, so they're gonna need more space than I originally planned for. This is the Snapdragon bed. These beds are about 10 feet long, and on this end I left it empty originally so that I could succession plant more Snapdragons in a couple weeks. But what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and put the Double Dandies here. They can be spaced 6 to 12 inches apart, so I'm going to do them at 8 inches apart. And then if I have any remaining Snapdragons from my plant sales at the farmer's market, then what I'm going to do is just plant them in the front garden bed, which I'll show that at some point. But so I'm going to put the Double Dandies here. These Snapdragons are spaced in 2 rows, but I'm going to space the Double Dandies in 3 rows. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready and get those planted. I'm not going to do a time lapse today just because I'm on a time crunch right now to get these done so I can do homeschool stuff with my older kids. So I'm going to get these done and then I'll be done for today. Okay, so here's how it looks. I spaced them 8 inches apart, and I fit 14 seedlings in here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 left. So I'm just gonna pop these up and I guess try to sell them as potted sunflowers. I don't think they don't get bigger than 2 feet tall, so I think if I keep them in a pot, or if people keep them in a pot, they'll stay compact. But I'm just gonna pop them up and see how they do, and then just sell them for like $3 each. So that's that. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. It's about 9 a.m. I am just out bringing some of my seedlings outside and just trying to check things over a little bit. Some stuff is looking really, really good. Some stuff is looking a little bit damaged this morning, and I don't know. It looks like pest damage. I don't know what pest it could be. I feel like it's birds, just because we get so many birds in our yard that I don't think that we have slugs, because there's always pigeons over here. But I don't know if pigeons will eat like radish tops and sunflowers and mustard greens. I don't know if pigeons would eat that, but I'll show you some of the things that I'm looking at that are looking a little bit damaged this morning. So we have this sunflower here. This is one of the Pro Cut White Night that looks like it's been eaten on, and I don't know what would do this. I know we've had a lot of pill bugs. I've seen them, and I know that we get tons, especially when the soil is damp. But I've never seen a slug here, so I don't know. But someone mentioned that it could be slugs. This is what the damage looks like. And then I'll show you what the mustard greens look like. And also 2 of my snapdragons have been cut down. So I'll show those. I pulled this, there was a snapdragon here and I pulled it out. And then I already pulled this one out this morning too, but it looked like it had just been like cut down. So I don't know if maybe that was a field mouse or what. But here's how the snapdragons are looking. Besides those 2 missing ones, everything looks good. And then these double dandy sunflowers still look good. And then I'll show you guys what the mustard greens look like. The buttercrunch put a lot of growth on the last couple days. I've been keeping them really watered, so I'm actually gonna let them dry out a little bit today. But you guys can see. I don't know, I might need to contact my extension office or something and see if they can figure it out, but the mustard gets all these little holes in it. So I actually planted a new round, and once it comes up a little bit better, I'm probably just going to pull these out. They just get so eaten up. I put them in a raised bed, the new ones I planted, so hopefully that will deter some of the pests. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is just pop in 2 new snapdragons. I have some already started from the same group, so I'm just going to pop in 2 new ones, and then I'm thinking about, I don't know, I might have enough of the blue tubing to make more hoops for this bed. I'm kind of contemplating that because snapdragons take very long, and I don't want to keep having to replace them and setting myself back, and seeing about putting some greenhouse plastic or a row cover or something, or a tarp or something over these snapdragons. So we shall see, but I'm just gonna replace those and finish bringing out my seedlings this morning, and then I'm not sure what I'll do later today. Actually, you know, I know what I'll do. So over here, I've been in the process of trying to dig another bed, and it's been a while, like a month maybe. So I might finish that today, and then also maybe transplant some more Caesar lettuce, probably in a raised bed. So yeah, I'll probably do that today. I'll probably spend most of the time just digging that because I need more space for more sunflowers. So yeah. Okay, I'm back outside. It's 5 o'clock in the evening, and I did not get a chance to work on that garden bed because mom duties take precedence because mom duties take precedence. But I did ask on a flower farming page about my snapdragons, and someone mentioned that if the snapdragon was cleanly cut at the stem, which it was, then I probably have cutworms. And so I transplanted new snapdragons into the places where they had been cut down. And when I was transplanting, I was digging down and I came across a cutworm. So I believe that was the culprit. So then I googled like what to do about cutworms, and for most like bug issues you can use diatomaceous earth, and I have some. So what I'm going to do is I have a few lettuce seedlings that I want to transplant. I'll show you guys those, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some diatomaceous earth. Stuff needs to be watered, but I'm going to water it in the morning because diatomaceous earth doesn't work on insects and bugs if it's wet. So it is pretty windy this evening. The winds have been at about 17 miles per hour, so I'm really hoping that it doesn't just blow the DE off the beds, but I'm gonna put it down anyways because I don't want to lose any more snapdragons. So yeah, I'll show you the lettuce that I'm about to transplant. A few really quickly here. These are giant Caesar lettuce right there, and I'm just gonna put a few here in the raised bed where I originally had some baby bok choy that didn't do well. I think it was just too hot because it had been growing inside, and then I didn't really harden them off for very long, and then yeah, they just had a hard time. So what I'm gonna do is just put the lettuces right along here, and then I'm gonna sprinkle the diatomaceous earth over there, and then I'm gonna be done for the evening. I don't know if you can see, normally you can see the mountains very clearly at this time in the evening, and I believe that is all dust. So that is New Mexico for you. Just erosion happening, lots of erosion happening, lots of dust in the air. So I'm gonna try to do this quick so I can get back inside and get dinner cooked. So yeah. So I'm not gonna record it, but I'll show you guys what it looks like tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. It's almost 8 o'clock. I just came out to let the ducks out of their duck house and check on my snapdragons. And everything needs just a quick water since I didn't water last night because I put that diatomaceous earth out. So I'm just gonna do a quick water with the watering hose, and I'm gonna show you guys the snapdragons. They all survived, so hopefully, I guess the diatomaceous earth did its job. No cutworm damage this morning. Everything is looking good, not too dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with the water before the sun is high and everything starts getting dry. Oh, let me show you guys the snapdragons as I'm walking away. Okay, so here they are. Everything is intact. Nothing is cut down or flopped over. I also put some on my mustard greens, so I was starting to have like a lot of bug damage on those. So everything is looking good this morning. These are the Caesar lettuces I planted yesterday evening, and they survived the night. They're looking good, so I'm also going to give them a quick water before it warms up today. I think the high is in the 70s, so I think they'll do just fine. Okay, I just finished watering everything. Everything is looking really good. So what I'm gonna do next is, in that Seed of the Month club that I got those snow peas from that I planted the other day, I guess it was Monday, I also got seeds for asparagus yard-long beans. So this is probably the first month that I'm planting both packets of seeds from that Seed of the Month Club. But I think they sent me like 15 or 16 beans maybe. So what I'm gonna do is, in this bed here, this is where I have collard greens here and Swiss chard. Swiss chard is over there. It's hard to do this on the camera, but the Swiss chard is over there. I have collard greens here, and then I have the red mustard here. What I'm gonna do is put a few bean plants right across here, and the package says to space them 5 inches apart, so that's what I'll do. I've never grown these before. I'm not 100% sure the best way. And then in this bed where I have the Shasta daisies and gladiolas, and then a couple mustard over here, I also have a little bit of an empty space across here. So I'll probably put any leftover beans there, so that let me turn this way. And then what I'm gonna do is put a cattle panel trellis across these two beds, so it'll be an arch, and I'll just have the yard-long beans growing up that arch, so it'll be super pretty. As you walk under, it'll just be full of foliage and beans. So we'll see how that looks when the time comes, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the beans in, and I have about like 15% battery life on my phone right now, so I will record it, and however much gets recorded, that's what we'll have. So I'll let you guys see me go ahead and direct seed those beans. I haven't direct seeded that much in like the life of my garden, but where I direct seeded the buckwheat, it looks fine. I watered that today, and the same for the snow peas. I mean, it was just a couple days ago, so nothing is up, but nothing looks like it's been dug in or any of the seeds pulled out, so that's great. So I'll go ahead and get those beans planted. Excuse me, I'm on my last 3% of battery, so I'm going to show you a couple things that I'm going to just kind of chip away at today. Okay, so this is snapdragons interplanted with butter crunch lettuce. I seeded these, or I transplanted these snapdragons in the fall, and they're starting to get kind of bushy. So what I'm going to do is just put stakes here, here, there, and there, the bamboo stakes, so that I can put some floral netting. I'm probably just going to put it like this high so they can start to grow through it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to at least put the stakes in today. I'm not sure if I'll actually do the floral netting, maybe till next week. And then I'll bring you over to the other snapdragon bed. So these are the ones that I just transplanted last week. And I think what I want to do is, okay, so I have all this grass growing here. I'm going to just work on pulling some of this grass out, just cleaning up the edge of this bed. And then what I think I'm going to do is transplant some beet seedlings I have that aren't doing too great in their seedling cups right now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start transplanting them out and just put them here along the front. Hi, it's Thursday. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. I watered everything this morning. I didn't end up doing anything else here in the garden. Oh, it's windy. I didn't end up doing anything else here in the garden after the video that I recorded yesterday. I ended up having a dentist appointment. They messaged me to see if I wanted to come in and get my teeth cleaned, and so I was like, sure. So I went and did that. But I'll show you the little bit that I did yesterday. I cleaned up that little bit of edge of the bed. I still have quite a bit more to do. And then I transplanted some beets that were already struggling, so I'm looking at them now and they look okay. I haven't really been bringing them outside that much, so they look a little bit shocked, but I'll show you guys what they look like and then let you know what I'm gonna do for today. Edge of the bed, I just wanted to record this so I could look at it for myself and just see the difference from where it originally was. So this is how it was looking. You can see, like, I just have all this grass growing here on the edge, and I have a lot right there that needs to be pulled up. And so what I do is I just kind of toss it back into the bed to dry out and become mulch, or I feed it to the ducks because they really like it. And we don't use any chemicals on our grass. So, but anyways, here are the snapdragons. None of them got cut down last night. I found like a couple more cutworms while I was pulling out the grass, and I fed those to the ducks. And then here are the beets. You can see they're looking a little bit fainty. They've fainted a little bit, so I'm gonna come through and actually, you know what, I was thinking about watering, but I think I'll water again this evening because I watered this morning, and I think I'll water again this evening. It feels like it's probably like the mid-60s, so the climate here is just super dry. So in the summer, I most likely will probably have to water twice a day through the hot temperatures, like probably like June and July, and then I can probably go back to once a day in August, and then probably by September maybe every other day. But here are the radishes. I'm going to be pulling some of these up tomorrow to get them clean for the farmer's market. They're looking really good. They were struggling hardcore at first, and I think what the issue was, partially I think you can see like the damage. I think there was like some little buggies getting them, or maybe birds, but I think the biggest factor was I was not watering these enough. So once I started watering them every day, they really started to put some size to them, and the leaves just got so much healthier. So note to self, growing radishes in Zone 8A, arid climate, water them every day. Because I don't do super deep watering since I don't have irrigation, I just hand water. So because I do that, you know, some of the water loss happens during evaporation. So I just need to go ahead and water in the evenings. But here are my little baby radishes coming up. I don't really know how to thin these, so I'm trying to decide if I should or not. It's because these ones struggled so much, and I lost several of them. They might just end up thinning themselves out. So, I don't know. But here's the beet bed. I'm considering pulling some of the beets out that are kind of spent. None of them are super huge, so they would be baby beets. But some of them have been in the ground since like the end of last year. So, and while it was cold, I just don't want them to become inedible. And then my Caesar lettuces are looking so good. This one is getting shaded out by this beet. But oh my goodness, look at this beet green is so beautiful. These taste really good. If you've never had beet greens, you should give them a try. They're really yummy. So I'm going to be harvesting tomorrow. I may record that, I'm not sure. But I like to, you know, I did my first farmer's market last weekend, and it just made things so much easier harvesting on Friday and then keeping it in my little mini fridge as opposed to trying to harvest Saturday morning. And from what I've learned, especially when it comes like to salad greens and stuff that you store cold anyways, it's actually good for them to keep them in a cooler or refrigerator the day before. Kind of helps them crisp up so they're not like wilty when you have them out at the market. So this was supposed to be Romanesco broccoli. This is not Romanesco broccoli. So either it was super stressed and then mutated, or it wasn't Romanesco broccoli from the get-go. But I think I'm just going to end up feeding this to the ducks. Or I don't know if it'll actually flower or not. But it just looks like regular broccoli or maybe sprouting broccoli. I don't have any desire to eat it though. So just because it was so stressed, I don't know how good it will taste. So I might just feed it to the ducks. Anyways, that's how things are going over here, and I will water this evening because things are looking a little bit dry, even though I watered this morning. The thing about the soil here is the sun just bakes it, so, and because there's a lot of clay, it just gets really hard really quickly. So yeah, it definitely needs the mulch and more organic matter turned in, but we're working our way there. So what I'm going to do now actually is go to the front of my house because I wanted to do something out there. I need to get the shovel and show you guys my tulips. I've harvested 4 of them, and they're in the fridge right now with the bulbs on. It's looking like more of them will probably be ready to harvest in the next couple days. So it's really exciting. They're growing a lot faster than I thought they would, and I think that's partly because the days have been in the 60s and low 70s. Let's take a look at the sunflowers real quick. These are growing so nicely. I can't wait till these have blooms. I'm probably gonna have to put a floral netting like I will the snapdragons, just because the winds here get pretty intense. Last year I did grow some sunflowers over here, and that wall I feel like acted as a really good windbreak. So, but the thing about growing them here is you can see it's way more shaded there than I thought it was, and I'll show you, the bed was literally right here where you can see this patch. That's where the bed was. It was a raised bed, and the flowers didn't get more than like 1.5 feet tall, so they actually work perfect for the little bouquets that I do, but I think they'll just benefit more from having more sunlight, and I think they'll grow a lot faster being over here. So, the only thing is it's so windy, so I'm gonna head to the front, so I'll see you guys over there. Okay, so I'm at the front of my house right now, and I have this super long flower bed. It's several feet long. I have no idea how long it is. I've never measured it, and I'm trying to tell myself that I don't have to fill the entire bed this year. We'll be here for a while, so I can take my time. Otherwise, I know I'll start to get overwhelmed thinking I have to fill this whole bed. So I got these gladiolas from Dollar Tree. This is the packaging. They were 6 for $1, so I bought 7 packs, and I'm gonna plant these here at the front. I did plant 30 gladiolas in my backyard and one of the raised beds, and they're starting to come up. Our street gets a lot of traffic, so you'll probably hear a lot of cars drive by. But what I want to do is I want to succession plant these gladiolas. So I wasn't planning on growing these this year, but they came up so fast, I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And since I found these ones at Dollar Tree for 6 for $1, I was like, you know, it won't hurt anything. I've spent like $7 on these, and then the other ones that I planted in the back were from Walmart, and they were 30 bulbs for $9.98. So what I want to do is probably get a lot more of these, but kind of budget it out, because I want to plant them all at once, and then I'll have the blooms all at once, and it's better to succession plant these. And according to the package, you can plant these through June, and then you can have blooms all the way until the fall. So I think that's what I'll do. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and space these out. I'm spacing them about 4 inches apart, and I'll show you guys how I'm spacing them. In a flower farming group I'm in, one of the members said they space their gladiolas like 1 inch apart. They do them like they do tulips, almost like the egg crate method. I am nervous to do that, so I'm gonna give them a little bit more space because I want to treat these as a perennial. Like, I want them to come back, and so gladiolus bulbs get bigger, and I just want them to have enough space to actually grow underground, so that way when I get ready to dig them up, I can actually store them and they'll be healthy and I can use them again next year. So the wind is picking up. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I'm spacing these out. So here's how I have the gladiola laid out. They're about 4 inches apart, and then I have them staggered in the row behind them. And then here planted, I also have Shasta daisies. I want to say those are probably like 2 feet apart. And then I also planted some chocolate cherry branching sunflowers here along the back of the bed. Those are about 2 feet apart as well. And this bed is filled with a raised potting soil, or a raised bed and potting soil mix. The soil in this bed isn't very good. You can see here where I've removed some of the rocks, but it's just really depleted, clay-like, hasn't really been watered. So I just am topping it off with some better soil. And then the Shasta daisies, I've learned, are pretty slow growers, so hopefully by the time those are ready to start blooming, the gladiola will be almost done. So that way they don't crowd each other out. And as well for the chocolate cherry sunflowers. The chocolate cherry sunflowers is probably getting super windy. So. But this is how long the bed is. It's really long. I don't know how long it is, but you can see there's space to fill. So I'm just going to try to do it little by little and not have all my stuff blow away. But I'm just going to try to fill it little by little. I also planted some radishes here at the front to act as a ground cover, and just another place to have some produce. So I'm going to go ahead and finish laying these out. It's getting super windy, so the audio quality may not be that good. Saturday. So I had the farmers market this morning. Yesterday was harvest day and I did not record anything simply because I completely forgot to. So I'm gonna try to film my harvest day this next Friday, and also film myself getting ready for market. The last couple days have just been a little bit, number one, I've been a little bit scatterbrained, and number two, it's just been a weird week. So I didn't record as much as I wanted to this week, but I plan on doing this for a long time, so there will be plenty of opportunities to record in the future. So what I'm doing today is just emptying the ducks' pool. So their pool's back there, and I'm using these buckets, like I said last week, to empty it by hand and then water the garden. And if you didn't see my last video, I was just saying I like to do that because they poop in their water a lot, and duck manure acts as a really good fertilizer, and it's not a hot fertilizer, so I can put it directly on the garden and it doesn't burn the plants. So far the sunflowers are loving it. The sunflowers are doing really well. I figured out what those bugs were that were eating the mustard. So I told you guys I found the cutworms, and then I was also getting a lot of insect damage on my oh my gosh. Okay, I'm building a bed right there that I almost fell into. I told you guys that I had some damage on my sunflowers and some damage on my Japanese red mustard. Yeah, let me stop walking around. I think it's Japanese beetles. Little black beetles that kind of have like a iridescent, colorful color on their back. I saw them all over the mustard, and like I don't use pesticides, so I just sprayed them off with a water hose and then picked a couple off by hand. And I'm gonna go look at it now, and I see more damage on them, so they're obviously back. I can see them. I'll flip the camera around so you can see the beetles. I can see one in the garden bed, so I'll see if I can dig it out for you to see. Okay, here's the garden bed. I harvested the butter crunch yesterday, and then of course you're supposed to leave about a third of the plant if you want it to regrow, so I left the smaller leaves. But let's take a look at the red mustard. Sorry for the camera, it's windy, and yeah, so let me see if you guys can see that little bug right there. Okay, so that's the culprit. That is just a duck feather, but that is the culprit. I think that is a Japanese beetle. And I originally got ducks to keep away the Japanese beetles and to keep away the cucumber beetles, but the ducks had been eating some of the lettuce, so I haven't let them over here to eat any of the bugs. So I think what I'm going to do is, I have more mustard planted on the other side of the garden. Once that's big enough, I'm just going to pull all this out now that the beetles know where this is. So I'm going to pull this out, and I heard someone say the other day that mustard doesn't grow well in the warm weather anyways, and beetles love it. So after that succession on the other side of the garden is done, I'll probably be done with the red mustard until the fall. But I'm going to pick this beetle off and then go finish cleaning the duck pool, and then that's probably all I'm going to do today. I might pull some rocks out of the front garden bed, but I'm not going to record it. So yeah, that's probably all I'll do today, and then I'll be back next week with another vlog. So you guys stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys later.